Well, today's February 1st, tomorrow's Groundhog Day, and I want to talk to you about a little bill that's sort of peeping out of its hole, deciding whether the sun's out or not. It's a bill that has to do with the powers of the Attorney General. Our Attorney General has, on a couple of different scores, been kind of pushing the envelope about the powers that are allocated to him, not just by the Constitution, but by the legislature. In fact, the Constitution doesn't say much about our Attorney General as an office. It simply says that he or she is to be the legal counsel to state authorities, comma, and to exercise such other powers as the legislature determines. There's only one constitutional requirement, that he be the legal counsel. We got that. Every other power of the AG is legislative in source. It's a statute that we have amended over the years, given him greater powers, given the office greater powers, as we should, no problem. But unfortunately, in the last year, the Attorney General has, on two different counts, pushed the envelope of those authorities. First, as you probably know from reading the papers, he had the state of Washington listed as a plaintiff joining a lawsuit brought by other Republican attorneys general against the Federal Health Care Act. That Health Care Act was for the benefit of people like us. And to have our Attorney General unilaterally making a decision to sue, to find it unconstitutional, is a decision that did not sit well with many of us. He's entitled to his beliefs. That's not the problem. But when we wake up in the morning finding out that our lawyer has entered us as plaintiffs in a lawsuit against something we want and need without consulting anybody in the state government, then we got a problem. How would you like to wake up in the morning and find that your lawyer has sued in your name against your friend? I'm a lawyer. A lawyer operates on the basis of the client's interests. A lawyer executes the lawsuit. The decision to sue is the client's. I know that, been practicing law for 38 years. The legislature has the authority to rein in the AG in that respect. There's no doubt about that. That's not a constitutional argument. We have that authority. And the first part of this bill does that. Second part of the bill has to do with a different effort of our AG to push the envelope, and that's the direct opposite, not representing a real state agency when it was in a bind. Department of Natural Resources had resisted a local PUD, or Public Utility District, back in Okanagan County that wanted to use up some DNR land for an electric right-of-way for big electric wires. They got into law to the courts, and to its credit, the Attorney General's office did a very good job in protecting the DNR, lost at trial. The Lands Commissioner, who's the head of DNR, Peter Goldmark, wanted an appeal. Attorney General said no. Now, he effectively walked away from a state agency while the appeal clock was running. Again, I'm a lawyer. I would never do that. No lawyer I know would do that. And both of these issues came before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court decided on the first one, he has the authority to sue, this is the Florida suit, unless the legislature takes that authority back. And on the second issue, he must represent the DNR in an appeal. State agency is his client, and in fact, we have another law that says that he's the only lawyer who can represent the state agencies externally. Not a good idea. So this bill does both of those two things. It says the Attorney General cannot go off freelancing on his own, filing lawsuits in our name, without the approval of the governor or the relevant department head. And secondly, that when the state is a defendant, the Attorney General must defend it, cannot make a decision unilaterally to walk away. That's what this bill is about. I'm sorry to see that the press has taken this strictly as a liberal Democrat's poke at a Republican Attorney General who happens to be running for governor. No, it's not a poke, and in fact, this is the year to do it. A bill that transfers, in the first part, transfers certain power from the Attorney General to the governor when we don't know who will be the Attorney General affected by this. Could be Reagan Dunn, it could be Bob Ferguson, it could be somebody else. Democrat, Republican, we don't know. Nor do we know who's going to be the governor who's going to be affected by this. Could be Jay Inslee, it could be Rob McKenna. We don't know. That's why this bill is not a poke at either party. This year, this is simply about governance. And I'm sorry to say that it's been caught up in the politics that sometimes engulf the city. That's the news from Lake Wobegon. Thanks.